Welcome back. October is Eczema Awareness Month, and while many think of eczema as a childhood condition, it can impact adults as well. So to help us understand more about it is Dr. Adelaide Hebert, a dermatologist at UT Health Houston. Good morning, doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So let's start off with the real basics here. Talk us through what is eczema, what triggers it in adults, what signs would you look out for if you're not really sure?
Well, eczema is a condition that occurs in 1 out of 5 children and can persist into adulthood with a good degree of frequency. In terms of what causes it, this is basically a reaction to either the environment or other triggers. But if you're born with it, you just tend to have it. It's not usually what you eat. Many people do think that's the condition. But in the adult realm, what we see often is it persists as hand eczema. And the reason that is so significant is the fact that hand dermatitis is the #1 cause for days lost from work, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. So it's really important to look for signs which include patches of dry, red, itchy skin. That's very characteristic of eczema, also known sometimes as atopic dermatitis, although not all eczema is atopic dermatitis.
Okay. So is there a cure? Are there good medications, or are we really talking mostly about managing symptoms?
Well, my research is constantly looking for a cure at UT Health. We have not yet found a cure, but we have new medications, both systemic as well as topical, which are increasingly effective in controlling the disease. We now have medications, even in the topical form, that can really give you breaks from therapy at all. We didn't have this several years ago, but now we can manage this disease in a more targeted fashion. And much of the research that I've conducted at UT Health McGovern has allowed us to move forward where we can give better control to patients that suffer with eczema or atopic dermatitis.
It's exciting to hear about that progress. Now, adult eczema can look different from what we see in children. Why is that sometimes tricky to diagnose?
It can be more difficult in adults because they may not have had it as children. But if they move to a climate that is different, or let's say they immigrate to the United States from another country, even a country neighboring us like Mexico, suddenly they can have the onset of eczema. It doesn't tend to affect the face as much in the adult population as it does in children, but we can absolutely in dermatology discern if it is eczema. The scaly red patches are somewhat the same between the pediatric population and the adult population, but your dermatologist can absolutely discern what's going on in your skin and offer help both with good skincare practices as well as some of the new prescriptions or old standard prescriptions that are available.
Okay, so last question here. Let's talk about why awareness is important, because eczema is not just a couple patches on your skin. It can really impact and affect your confidence, your sleep. How much does mental health play into this whole picture?
Well, certainly if you're uncomfortable with your eczema, both because of the way it looks, and as you alluded to, it itches even through the night and you don't get good restful sleep, you're not at your best in terms of functioning the next day. And that's true whether you're an adult or a child. So we know that quality of life is definitely impacted unfavorably when someone has poorly controlled or uncontrolled eczema. And that's why your dermatologist is really the pathway to greater success and disease control. And these new medications really can facilitate your improvement in a fairly rapid fashion. We have medications now that are FDA approved all the way down to 2 years of age, and even some down to 6 months of age that are exceedingly effective.
Well, thank you so much for you and the work that your team is doing to really offer hope for anybody dealing with this. We really appreciate your time today, doctor.
Thank you for having me.
And the National Eczema Association is hosting a free webinar on October 30th on how to choose a health insurance plan when you have eczema. Some things to think about. You can head to the organization's website. It's right there on your screen. Scroll down to Get Involved and then click on the second tab to register. You're going to get practical tips to find coverage that works for your care and your budget. Certainly an important topic for so many folks right now.
Yeah.